help the folks who are listening. And we appreciate you being here today. This is another, I hope, excellent webinar because it's talking about something that we all know. And as you and I have both discussed before in these sales sessions, that you'll always have to start from what you know and where you have a relationship with those who are your clients or your potential clients. And one things that we all are aware of is Mickey Mouse, which is pretty amazing. And that's what we're going to talk about today. The topic of our video is why Mickey Mouse endures and most financial advisors do not. Isn't that amazing? Mickey Mouse endures, but most of us do not. And it's not just most of us in this business, it's most of the firms in this business have not endured either. It's just been amazing to see the difficulties that people have created, self-inflicted wounds. Do you know anyone who has a self-inflicted wound? Well, sometimes we really do that to ourselves. What a wonderful business we have. You've heard me say that before. I have a book also. I price it at $1. A $1 book on Amazon. Can you believe it? It's a Kindle version only, a read-only version, but it's called The Five-Pointed Compass. And it's about what a wonderful job we have being a financial advisor. You would think that everyone would want to do this, and because all of us have caring hearts, that everyone would succeed in doing this. The Five-Pointed Compass talks about the skills that we all have to bring and the helps that are all around us to help us be successful. The Five-Pointed Compass. It's a Kindle book, another shameless promotion, but it's really about what I'm talking about today. How you can remain successful, how you can become successful and stay that way and have longevity in the financial services business. When I began at Merrill Lynch, I looked around the room and I wanted to see how many people have been there 5, 10, 15 years. I was not looking for a job. I wanted a career, and longevity was important to me. And it's important to all of us, isn't it? So let's talk about that. Why did Mickey Mouse endure and most financial advisors do not? My wife and I just got back from a lovely trip to Disney World, which we always enjoy. And it made me think about that because there was an announcement there that I'd forgotten about, and that's this. The interesting thing is that Mickey Mouse is celebrating his 90th anniversary. His 90th anniversary. Well, that's pretty amazing, isn't it? This little cartoon character, and how many of us can think of a cartoon character that's been around 90 years, or basically anybody? This little guy has been here for 90 years. That is a real milestone. The truth is, every anniversary is a milestone, isn't it? And anniversaries matter. That's why Gloria and I will be celebrating our 40th just next year. That's why we keep track of anniversaries. Some anniversaries we call birthdays, but they're important. The reason is longevity is a statement. It says something when you've been around for 25 or 30 or 40 or 90 years. It says something about who you are. It says something about your public appeal. And it says something about your character. When a marriage endures for 40, 50, 60, 70 years, that tells you a lot about the couple, doesn't it? And especially in a day when some marriages don't even last a year, which is a shame. Longevity is a statement about love, about persistence. It makes a great statement about who you are. The other thing that makes anniversaries matter is, man, they're exclusive, especially longevity. There's very few people who reach those milestones, 25, 40, 50, 60 years. And in businesses, that's an exclusivity. That's why it says founded in 1972 or founded in 1950 or founded in 1847. Man, that's an exclusive club. And it also says something about the firm's adaptability. Cars that started out, companies that started selling buggy whips and didn't transfer to cars are gone. It's just that simple. That's the way it works. But if you can adapt to what the current public taste is and what's happening in the market, that's something to celebrate. You also have to celebrate risk-taking. If you are selling buggy whips and you think, well, horses will be here forever, why do you want a smelly old gasoline engine that you can't even learn to love? Frankly, isn't it interesting how some people name their cars as if they were persons? I've always known people who've done that. Had a couple of cars myself that I named. But it takes risk to change our lives. It takes risk. Those of you who started in financial services over the last year, that's a risk. Those of you still in this business and can celebrate 1, 3, 5, 10 years with your firm, man, that's exclusivity. That's adaptability. And it means you take the risks to do a variety of things that we're going to talk about today. It means you found some stability in the storm. There are always storms in financial services. It may be a recession, it may be a depression, it may be a certain sector of the market that's fallen out of favor. Look at what international investing has fallen into. This morning's Wall Street Journal was discussing how many people have lost money by thinking they were diversified by going internationally, and what a difficulty that's been for some. Those of you who are invested in international funds, you know you have to have stability when the storm comes. That means your ship, if you're in a sailing vessel, has to have a rudder that goes deep and hangs on. There's a hurricane coming, even as we speak. That stability in the storm is going to be challenged. And that's what happens to all of us when the winds of change start blowing. An anniversary means you have some longevity, and that was stability in the storms. It didn't mean you avoided them. It means you went through them. It also means persistence. Being discouraged is easy, isn't it? Some of you listening to me today are discouraged. You're discouraged because of the way the markets have gone. You're discouraged because the way your sales have gone. You're discouraged because the way of your education and training has gone. Listen, it is so easy to get discouraged. That's why an anniversary says this person has persistence. Look around you. Look in your offices. Look at the folks that you're working with. How many have had persistence to have some stability during the storm? Anniversaries matter. And they also matter because of optimism. Do you know what anniversaries say? It's like the Beatles song, I'm a believer. I'm a believer. You have to be a believer in yourself, in your industry, in what you offer, in no family left behind, in the value of education, and in your ability to serve the people around you. That's optimism. A pessimist will never have an anniversary. That's just the way it works. Why keep going? It's just going to get worse. Why keep going? I can find somebody better. I mean, these are pessimistic things. I'm going to end this and try something else. That's pessimism. Optimism says, I'm on the right track if I keep going, if I persist, if I have stability in the storm, if I'm willing to take some risks and adapt to what's happening. I can be one of those exclusive people who stays the course. Anniversaries matter. That's one of those lost secrets of financial services firms. It's one of those lost secrets of longevity. You know, the sad thing is, not only do sometimes advisors drop the ball and lose their business, but 250 firms are gone. When I worked at Merrill Lynch, we used to have a broadside of the people who brought American Motors public, and they listed all the firms who were underwriters. They're all gone. And here's some of the names: Bankers Trust, a big name; Bear Stearns, a major Wall Street firm; Commerce Bank; Dean Winter was the California leader in brokerage firms. Drexel Burnham was one of those high, classy, white shoe boutique firms. E.F. Hutton. When E.F. Hutton speaks, people listen. Well, unfortunately, he's not speaking anymore. Kidder Peabody was another one of those amazing firms. Lehman Brothers. I have some friends who worked for Lehman Brothers who loved the firm and were shocked when they were bankrupt and had to close the doors. Payne Weber, gone. Thank you, Payne Weber. Prudential Beige, one of the biggest names. Solomon Brothers, Shearson, Smith Barney. All of these were firms who had a long, successful history in financial services, but who watched it disappear. Why? I do not know, but it did. They all made some bad decisions. Now, we're going to look at reasons why that happens, because we don't want it to happen to us, but gosh, longevity means something. Anniversaries mean something. What does it mean to have longevity in financial services? Well, one thing it means for sure is that there are a lot of people who will never celebrate that. 27.6%, 1 in 4 every year are gone from financial services. Gone. That's a quarter. That's one of four people. When I was at the University of Kentucky as a freshman, the dean said, as we sat in Memorial Hall in our freshman orientation, and said, look around you, because the person sitting next to you will probably not be here next semester. We lose 50% of our freshmen. And sure enough, I was not there next year. You know, those two folks looked at me on either side and probably said, it's going to be him. And they were right. I told you, it took me 5 of the best years of my life to graduate from the University of Kentucky. It just took me a while to figure it all out. Look at this, though. Do you know what 27.6% means? It means that there's 100% turnover every 4 years. Whoa. That means some firms don't make it as well. We want to end that, don't we? And you don't want to be the guy they're looking at is going to be the one that's gone. I want to be here. How do you do that? Well, you learn from people around you. This is what we can learn from Mickey and the Disney company. I want to show you how distinctive their mission statement is. Here's the Disney mission statement that reveals its unique formula for making profits, which is very different from most other major corporations that focused on profit from a strictly financial point of view. You think about it, our goal is to make a profit. Our goal is to reward our shareholders. Our goal is to be the most profitable. Listen, Disney's mission statement, in contrast, focuses on the intangibles. That's one of the lost secrets of longevity and success. Intangibles that make the Disney brand unique and distinct. Disney's leaders, just like Walt Disney, said that when you get the intangible rights, the profits will come. You make the intangibles work, and the products will flow and grow. Well, what's an intangible? What does that mean? How do you get the intangibles right? Pay attention, because here are the intangibles that make a difference. For example, for Disney, do your best. Failure is always satisfied. What does that mean? That means that you should always absolutely do your very best at every instance. Never let yourself down by a poor performance, by a secondary performance that's not qualified, by a performance that you would be embarrassed if that's what you did every day. Never do that. Failure is always satisfied, because failure said, well, I tried. I really tried. I did try, just didn't make it. Well, the customer wasn't interested, and it's their fault. Failure always satisfies itself by making an excuse. There's always a reason, and seldom is the reason me. Remember, I mentioned earlier, self-inflicted wounds? That's what happens to us, especially when we get satisfied with less than best. Less than our best. You can never afford to do that. Have you ever walked away from a situation and thought, oh, I wish I had? Why did you not? Didn't prepare. That's what happens. Continuous improvement. No standing still. Do you know the intangibles at Disney are always to do your best? The intangibles at Disney are always continuous improvement. What are we doing? We can do better tomorrow. What can we do better tomorrow? It's really interesting. When Walt Disney, or not Disney, but the Disney company started the Disney stores. The Disney stores is where they can market their toys, their videos, their games, their brand in malls across the country. I don't know if you ever went to a Disney store, but when they first opened, the one in New York City, their flagship store was packed. People were standing in line to get in there to buy Disney stuff. When Steve Jobs started the Apple stores, he visited the Disney stores to find out how customer engagement works, that they were cast members, that they all wore the same outfits, that they addressed everyone with a smile. And so he put that attitude into the new Apple stores. Do you know what happened last year? Disney store management went to Apple to study how Apple engages its clients. That's what continuous improvement means. Well, we can't go back and see Apple. We're the one that's taught them what to do. What a stupid attitude. If you can learn, go learn. So Disney was back studying the Apple stores, and you can now see the differences in Disney stores. Continuous improvement, no standing still. What's next? I remember chatting with a leader of a major organization, and I asked him what his mission was, and he said, what we're doing is our mission. What's your vision? Our vision is that we do what we're doing. You know, the problem is if you just do your best and that's good enough, if you just say, hey, we're improving what we're doing every day. My buggy whip has the best handle in the business. Our leather is more supple. It's still a buggy whip, right? What's next? Where's no vision? The scripture says the people perish. Disney always kept having a vision. Most financial firms sit and watch the world go by. You can't do that, not as an individual. Teamwork works. Two are better than one. That is always the case. That's what even the writer of Ecclesiastes, whom you may know, was a cynic about everything, said two are better than one. And it's true. Get that teamwork going. And that's why at Disney, they're always on teams. Even the housekeeping group works together to make sure that they're doing the best housekeeping job in the world. And the interesting thing is, the housekeeping group made recommendations to their leaders that transformed how the housekeeping rules are done at Disney. It's amazing. Teamwork works. And that means there's no opinion from anyone who isn't valuable. Take risks. Okay, I've said that twice. You have to explore new horizons. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but Disney was always doing that, always exploring new horizons. Even when they looked like they were going to be failures, they pursued their vision. And that's what you have to do. You have to do the same thing. Take some risk. Learn that new product. Make a presentation that's different than the last one. Talk to the kind of people you've never spoken to before. You have to take risks. And what you have to do is do it. Then talk about it. Your actions speak volume. Remember people saying before that what you do speaks louder than what you say? Isn't that true? Haven't you seen that from the people around you? What you do speaks louder than whatever you say. Saying one thing and doing another, we all have terms for that. Do it, then talk about it. Don't say, listen, we don't need to go into that, but I don't want you to fall victim to that, to bragging about things that have never come true, or assuming that things are true that you know are not true. You just have to speak after you do it, not before. Then redefine your plans to grow. If this didn't work, redefine it. Try it in another way. Give it another turn. If you're working on marketing an annuity and you're not successful at it, you cannot say, and annuities don't fit. Anybody who does that never paid attention to their clients. Some clients absolutely need that guaranteed income in retirement. That may be the only retirement they have. So study it further. Find a new way to talk about it. It makes a big difference. Redefine your plans as you grow. Change. Now, I told you before, when I was a broker, I'm a growth stock specialist. I'm a retirement specialist. I'm a tax specialist. I'm an income specialist. All those things are true because I changed every place I went as the markets change and needs change. And that's why you have longevity. That's why I was with my firm for 27 years. Hold fast to your principles. There is often a temptation to take shortcuts. The easiest thing in the world is to go downhill, right? All you got to do is sit on your seat and go downhill. The hardest thing to do is to keep climbing uphill. That's difficult. And because it's difficult, few have the longevity. They don't want to pay the price. You got to hold fast to your principles because you can't recover them. I don't know if you've read about Wells Fargo, but you cannot have missed the news that this firm has, in fact, taken advantage of every client and every employee. They can run all the cowboy commercials they want. Nobody's going to trust Wells Fargo, not for years because of this story. Someone goes to bank with them. Someone's going to tell them, do you know what they did to their customers? They lied to everybody. They gave them accounts they didn't even open, sent them credit cards they didn't want, charged them fees for things they never delivered. Wow. Keep your principles. What's worth losing those? Because once they're gone, you'll never get them back. Disney kept them, so do those firms that held the line. And then here's probably the most important thing you hear me say, and I'm going to say it again. The customer experience is everything. And remember, it's not how the customer defines the experience. Our customers seem happy. That's not it. Well, we ranked up pretty high in the last rankings. That's not it. If the customer experience in any way is lacking, so is your product. The customers have to say, wow. The customers have to say, man, that was more than I expected. They exceeded my expectations, right? You've got to make the customer experience everything. And every customer needs to have that same experience. One of the dangers is we think, well, this customer is more important than this. This customer gives me more business than this. This family has more opportunity for me than this. Listen, you have to begin, especially in your beginning, to treat every customer with full respect and full expectations of what you can do for them. And do you know what? If you start it in the beginning, it will never go away. You're going to find that some of the people who you didn't think were important at all may be some of your strongest contacts when you give them the best experience of all. Those are the intangibles, right? Hard to measure, but they're true, and they will make a difference in your business. Disney's examples are amazing. You know, Disney started out as live action in 1920 with a little cartoon character called Oswald. Did you know that in 1922, Walt Disney had to declare bankruptcy and leave Kansas, where he was writing and drawing and creating cartoons, marketing them to movie theaters in New York? Cartoons used to be a part of every movie. He went bankrupt. He went bankrupt because he trusted the people around him, and they were not worthy of his trust. He never got paid. Pardon me. He never got paid. And because he never got paid, he had real difficulties. So he left Kansas and moved with his wife to California. It was on that train after his bankruptcy that he left Oswald the rabbit behind and created Mickey Mouse. Pretty amazing. The bankruptcy didn't stop him. He went right on, and he actually achieved much greater success with Mickey than he probably ever would have with Oswald the rabbit, since, as you may know, later they came Bugs Bunny. And then from animation, he went to live action movies. Wow. Disney movies today, the biggest sellers are not just their animation features, but the live action movies. We just went to see Christopher Robin yesterday, a live action movie. And now their diversification is amazing. Amusement park to a destination experience. Isn't it interesting? Do you know that when they started Disneyland, when Walt Disney started Disneyland, he'd gone to amusement park with his daughters. They were dirty. The restrooms were not well cared for, to say the least. The refreshments were poor, and snacks were not good, and they cost more money. And he decided he could do better than that, and he decided he wanted to start Disneyland. We can look back and say, wow, brilliant. Do you know that Anaheim wouldn't grant him a building permit because they thought this amusement park is going to just attract more riffraff, more low-life carnival people to our neighborhood, and we don't want that in Anaheim. He could not get the permit. Do you know that he couldn't get money? He mortgaged every piece of property Walt Disney Studios had, including his home, to get the money to start Disneyland. Now, Disneyland is an amazing success, and it spawned parks around the world. And in fact, the 26,000 acres in Walt Disney World, 26,000 acres. And you know, it's exempt from Florida regulations. He got the legislature to make him exempt because he didn't want building inspectors who did not know what they were building. He was going to do the buildings as his Imagineers could. He didn't want environmental people coming in telling him what they could or could not do because his standards were higher than the state's anyway. And he got that Reedy Creek Improvement District, which bought up much of the property and is now the administrator for Walt Disney World. Wow. And it's not an amusement park anymore. It is truly a destination vacation for people all over the world. Multiple attractions. You can't just think about one thing. Well, I'm a cartoon guy. That's what I do. Looney Tunes cartoon was that, and they're gone. They were owned by Warner Brothers, and they were practically gone. You cannot just say this one thing is what I do. You have to be adaptable. Multiple attractions. And what's going to bring people to your business? You will find out. And you keep working on those things that will bring attraction. That's what Disney did. Multiple markets. You know, it's funny. We just got back from Disney World and people say, did you take your kids? No, we actually wanted to have fun. You know, sometimes those of your parents know you don't have any fun when you go with your kids or grandkids. No, we went with another adult couple. We had a grand time at the Food and Wine Festival. We enjoyed everything there because Disney's market is not just children, not just preschool, not just babies. Disney market now is, why do you think everything's done on nostalgia? Why do you think Main Street looks like it does? Why do you think the Primetime Cafe is about the 50s? Because his audience, he knows the biggest audience out there is boomers, and they're playing to that market. And now you see these zippy cartoons on Disney Channel playing to millennials and to their children. Multiple attractions for multiple markets means new adventures are starting all the time. There's a new venture regularly in Walt Disney's World. You keep doing the same thing and you live in yesterday. You've got to keep working with new things and new examples. Building on the basics. Well, how can you be new and build on the basics? Isn't that opposite of each other? If you say keep the basics and build on the new, no, the new has to be built on something and you build it on the basics. You dance with the one that brought you, right? That's the way it works. And with Disney, the same principles, those same intangibles apply. But you take those intangibles and you add new things. We'll talk about that a bit more. Success is never complete. Listen, you cannot rest on your laurels ever. You can't say, I'm really got it made now. I've reached this level. I'm a regional sales manager. I'm a district sales manager. I'm a product manager. I'm the best recruiter. We have more management. You can't do that. Once you start resting on your laurels will start disappearing because times change, things change, markets change, companies change, businesses change. Success is never complete. It's always just another step around the corner. So that's the reason we keep moving forward. How many ways are there to success? Well, look at Disney. We know the first thing was Walt Disney Animation Studios, Mickey Mouse. That was the first thing that brought him success. Did he stay there? Not for a second. What other movie franchise has been really, really strong? Well, my goodness, Lucasfilm, right? So now Disney owns Star Wars and everything associated with Star Wars. What's bigger than Star Wars? They're building Star Wars Land. They have troopers marching down Main Street. Unbelievable. Well, we don't do science fiction stuff. That's not what. No, we're in the family entertainment business, and this fits. And what other? Whoa, Marvel. Marvel Studios was a little comic book strip series, a comic book series with a lot of characters. And they made a couple of movies, and Disney bought Marvel and turned it into an unbelievable family franchise. And now the Guardians of the Galaxy is just opening a huge new place there. It's just been amazing. DC Comics never caught up. And yet they had the start with Superman, the start with Batman, but they didn't do anything with them. In fact, they didn't grow hardly at all. Marvel, with Disney's leadership, has transformed. What? A cruise line? Of course. Why? Because their mission statement is intangibles, and you can deliver intangibles, a great experience, especially for families in the Disney Cruise Line. Who else does that? Nobody. Then they started from Disneyland, this base, all of these other wonderful things. This is the base that we talked about a while ago. These are the basics. That's where they learn to give the customer experience. That was the first. Do you know what one of the most recent things is? It's this, the Disney Vacation Club. Timeshares got redefined. We're hearing on the radio, well, I can get rid of your timeshare. Listen, nobody wants to get rid of vacation club points. We go all the time. Even when we lived in Kentucky, even when we lived in New York, we went all the time because our kids got a chance to grow up there. The vacation club means we can travel around the world on Disney adventures and Disney resorts with RCI. What an amazing thing. Listen, there are so many ways to be a success in a financial services firm, and there's so many kinds of products and services financial firms can offer, so many incentives. It's incredible. There are many ways to success if you do the intangibles. If you do the intangibles. So here's the application. What are you marketing? Are you marketing, well, I sell insurance? Well, I can sell an annuity? Well, I sell mutual funds? Well, I do retirement plans? What are you marketing? You know, the truth is you can buy products pretty much anywhere. What you're marketing is you. You are the one that makes the difference. You are the one who provides the service. You are the one who provides the education. You're bringing you and your skills and your interests to the park. And you bring all the ethics, all the intangibles that everybody are looking for. If the customer doesn't have a good experience, you're going to make sure it's right. It is you that you're marketing. Why do you think the firms keep hiring people like you? Because you're the ones that make the differences. Who's your audience? It's perfectly fine for you to say, my audience, I'm a lady and I sell to women. That's a huge market. That's a great market. But what women? Working moms, retired ladies, widows, divorcees. Listen, you can slice that market in 25 different ways. Stay-at-home moms. Who is your audience? Figure it out. Market yourself to that audience. It makes a huge difference. What are you learning? Well, I work for Walt Disney and I'm going to work on a cruise line. They would have thought you are crazy. I work for Walt Disney and I'm going to be a Star Wars. What? That doesn't even belong to us. Listen, what are you learning? You always have to be learning. That's an intangible that teaches you and keeps you ahead of everything behind you. And that has a lot to do with how are you growing, doesn't it? You can't grow unless you're learning, and you can't learn without growing. And what's your customer experience, folks? I mentioned that before. I'm going to keep mentioning it. The customer experience is your responsibility. One of the worst things, the things that used to irritate me the most, is to hear someone on the line when I worked for Merrill Lynch telling a client, well, our operations room just doesn't have it going together back there. Well, my secretary, she really didn't get it mailed out. Listen, as your customer, I'm wondering, why do you have problems in operations? Why do you have a problem with your secretary? Why do you have a problem in your product area? You shouldn't have these problems. You have to take responsibility. You're the one responsible for the customer experience. You are the one who says, you know, I'm sorry I didn't get that out to you on time. I really apologize that we weren't able to get that done in the time frame I thought we could. I am so sorry that this is one detail that we didn't discuss and we should have. You are the customer experience person. Don't be a blame person. Be a person who is accountable. What matters most? My sale matters most. My commissions matter most. Do you remember where we began this? Disney didn't say profits are the most important. They said the intangibles. If I give the intangibles, the products will come. You know, if you give intangibles, if you're responsible for your customer experience and someone says, you really need to get to know Mario. My goodness, you've got to get to know Robert. You've got to get to know James. You've got to get to know Mary Ann. You've got to get to know Larissa. Why? She is so good. He is so good. He is so caring. That's where referrals come from. No one says, boy, I have a great insurance policy. Oh, boy, I'm really happy with my auto insurance. It's wonderful to have a 401k. I'm thrilled with my mutual fund. Listen, that doesn't happen. Not often. But what does happen is he or she is a terrific person. You need to get to know him. What matters most? You do. And where's your focus? I hope you know what the right answer to that is. Your focus is not making money. Your focus is not a promotion. Your focus is not on the latest product of the month. Where's your focus? It's on your clients. That's the focus. It's on your clients and on your prospects. If you take good care of your clients, guess what? Your prospects will grow. And if you take good care of your clients, well, prospects will know. And if you take good care of them, the production will be there. Take good care of the people around you. Good things happen when you do. And what intangibles make the difference for you? What intangibles will make the difference for you? Gosh, I hope you'll write that down, because I don't have the answer for you. I don't have the answer for you at all. But if you can't find the answer, your longevity will probably not be what you and what your firm really wants. Remember, your firm wants you to succeed. Your firm is there to help you succeed because they prosper as you prosper. As you make the customer experience great, so do they. And you may say, well, the customer experience is never good where I work. Is that true? Is that really true? Then why would you ever want to be someplace where everything you sell turns into bad stuff? You know, I hope you'll know what makes the intangibles in your business and what makes them for you. So what to do today? You know, we spent this time together. I've tried to encourage you, try to suggest some things that may make a difference for you. Try to make some things that will help you as you're recruiting people to come into the business with you. What are the lost secrets to longevity? Why does Mickey Mouse endure and many financial services do not? What are the lost secrets? A laser focus on your business. That's what it takes. Walt Disney never forgot what business he was in. No, it wasn't animation. It was in family entertainment. If you read the Disney mission statement today, it's to provide the very finest in family entertainment across every platform where we serve. That's their business. That's the intangible. They are laser focused on that. And if it doesn't fit the business, they're not doing it. There are so many ways Disney could have gone. Think about the other firms out there. Think about things they're doing that are not compatible with their business. Think about them selling off this division because it didn't work. The family experience for Disney means hotels that are exceptional. It not only means rides and experiences, it means even a park that's cleaner than anybody else. Refreshments that are better than everybody else's. It may not always be what you like or to your taste, but it's not because Disney didn't care. A laser focus on your business. I hope you have that because it's going to make a big difference for you. I was talking to someone this morning and she was saying, I was thinking about this. And I said, listen, I think about that all the time. I'm always thinking about that. I wake up thinking about it, go to bed thinking about it. And you know what it is? It's this business that I'm in. Now, my family doesn't take second place, or the people I love. And they will tell you that that's true. But my thinking is on making every day a better day for the business I'm trying to help and grow. It also means create every opportunity to grow. Keep looking for new ways to grow. I mean, you think about all these firms. Well, we had it made. We're the best underwriter there is. We can take down more cash. We can provide more stock. You got to look for opportunities to grow, to do something new and different and fresh and exciting every day. It really makes a difference. And in your business, in my business, there's always something fresh and new and exciting to do. And you need to get about it. Don't wait for somebody else to jump in and test the water first. You know, it's wonderful to get into this new markets quicker than anybody else. That's a secret to success. And then always apply that new philosophy, new sales, new works. If I had not marketed net law, I would be saying to my clients, we have a new opportunity that you really need to know about. It brings a whole new solution to problems that every family has. If I wasn't marketing net law today, I'd be telling people, we have a new way for you to solve a major family problem. And that is what happens when someone's life comes to an end. I would be talking about new. If I had net law clients, I'd be saying, let me tell you about their new student plan. And you know, in net law, we're always working on something new. net benefits, net student, net philanthropy. We're working with religious organizations and hope to have something brand new to market to mass audiences that make it much easier for you and bring you so many more clients than selling one-to-one. There's so many new things that we're working on in net law as well. And that's what makes being in net law exciting. And then you have to build your team. No man is an island, and you by yourself, it's tough. Even members of your family can be on your team, whether they're compensated or not. If my wife wasn't on my team, I'd be a not very happy person. You've got to build your team. And then mentors. My goodness, I'm so thankful for people who trusted me and believed in me. Even today, I'm still thankful for that. And I want to be on a team. I don't want to be the guy at the head or the guy behind. I want to be the guy that's there in the middle, working with everybody, making things work together. Then you have to be sure that you're not changing everything. Keep the basics. You want to evolve, not have a revolution and change everything. Well, we're dropping this. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm leaving this. I'm starting something brand new. Everything has to be built on something, right? And the foundation that you build on is important. It's important that you evolve in your business. It's important that your firm continues to evolve. And I've been so excited to be at some of the meetings and see the new things coming, to see the new electronic ways they have for you to market, to see the new focus on millennials. I'm excited about what you guys are doing. And you're going through that evolution. You understand your base and you're going where the public is going. That's just incredible. That's what you want to do. And don't say, that doesn't mean anything to me, because opportunities are being created for you to grow. Okay, I'm going to say this again. Make the client experience the distinguishing mark. You cannot go into any Disney park and not be impressed with its cleanliness, with the grass being cut, with the flowers being watered, the streets being clean, with the bathrooms being sparkling. It is unbelievable. You cannot have a bad client experience unless you're a bad client. Our daughter used to work there, and she said, Dad, the neatest thing about being a Disney employee is if I saw a child who lost their balloon, I could go get them another balloon. If I saw somebody who dropped their popcorn, I would go get them a popcorn or get them a Coke. I mean, that's what we did. And she said, Dad, it made me feel so good to be able to do that. Listen, the client experience not only makes your clients feel better, it makes you feel better because you're answering a need when it arises. Your client experience has to be at the forefront of everything you do. It's not good enough to say, well, it is good enough. Well, we're doing what we can. Well, nobody does it better than we do. Everybody's got the same problem. What pathetic comebacks. What terrible things to say. What you want to say is, we take care of our clients and our clients take good care of us. We're always working on make the client experiencing better. That's the distinguishing mark. Make the client experience better and then stay the course. Once you get on the right course, don't worry about the storms. Don't worry about the winds. Don't worry about the changes. Stay the course. Another word for that is perseverance again. Listen, I once talked to one of the most successful people in my office when I was a beginner broker in Louisville for Merrill Lynch. He was there late one night, and I said, Ken, what do you do to be successful? He said, hang around. The longer you are here, the more successful you will become because there's so much opportunity here. Just stay the course. That was great advice for me. I think it's great advice for you. How do you do that? You can't always hold on to yesterday. You have to change with your customer base. So who is it? I said that earlier about ladies. Who is it? Retirees? Focus on that. Couples with young children? Focus on them. Couples with children who are now gone? Empty nesters? Singles? Who's your market? People of faith? People in a certain business? Find a niche. Find a niche and make yourself the most valuable person to solve financial problems for everyone in that niche. Change as your customer base changes. Find your particular niche and keep growing it. The lost secret to longevity. If every one of those firms that disappeared had done this, if every one of those financial advisors, that 27, almost 28% who lost their jobs every year did this, then they would still be here. And probably we'd all be better off for that. Net law and Mickey is really important. We're here to help you create longevity in your practice. That's what we want to do for you. The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. That's Walt's philosophy. If you can dream it, you can do it. Always remember that this whole thing was started by a mouse. Isn't that amazing? A bankrupt Walt Disney on a train ride to California sketched a little mouse, called him Mortimer, and his wife said, Mickey sounds better. Boy, get started. Quit talking about what you're going to do and do it. Do what? What you've dreamed you can do. And here's his final. Here's the 3 steps, secrets to longevity. First, think. Think about what you're doing. Think about the things we've talked about today. Second, believe that you can do it. You've got to believe in yourself and believe in your firm, believe in your clients, believe in what you're doing. And third, dream. Dream. Think of what this can mean to you and to your family. Just dream a bit. And then dare. What does that mean? That means jump in with both feet, take risks, change, grow, learn, discover, apply yourself the very best you can. We're working on it in Net Law every day, and we're working on helping you do this. We try not to just be talking, but doing. We really believe we have big dreams, and we want them fulfilled. And third, we want to think, believe, dream, and dare. NetLaw they've received the Academy Awards in our business. If you know, NetLaw has been recognized as the very best online service firm for estate planning. And this week, we just received another recognition as the very top, number 2 in the top 10 best tech startups in Kentucky. Wow, that's pretty good. 5 years ago, no one dreamed that we'd be sitting here chatting with you today. That's pretty terrific too, isn't it? We want to help you, and we're here to do that. And you know how, because we have Vanessa and Mark and Jennifer here to help. Mark, thank you so much again. Gary, my brother, thank you for helping me by putting our slides together. Jennifer, Mary, we appreciate what you bring every day. And you know we're here for you and for your client. We will help you in any way we can to make the client experience great. And when your clients talk to us, we want to make the client experience great. So we'll see you. Not next week, as you know, we're doing these bi-weekly, but they're always online. And Mark is going to tell you now how you can get the past webinars on to use in your recruiting, in your training, to use to develop your own business. So you never make success a secret. It's what you do every day. Thank you so much for being with me, Gary and Mark. I appreciate you working to make this happen for everyone online, and so much appreciate you folks online who stayed with us today as well. This is Stan Craig, and I'm here for you. Glad to help. Bye-bye.